Okay. I already did a prayer, so we're gonna start straight into the message here. All right. First things first. I had to take my socks off and ground before I started doing this. So I was told to keep my feet on the ground while I did this reading. There's a definite message for this collective that you need to ground your energy. You need to ground everything out. Okay, you need to ground your energy. It's really all over the place. There's not a lot of clarity here. Okay, right out of the gate. Okay, we've got the Devil card coming up. Hey, I just said, hey, there's not a lot of clarity here, okay? The Devil card. This is a card that deals with addictions. It deals with bad habits. It deals with, I'm hearing for some of you that you need to prioritize your health. I'm hearing you need to prioritize your health. You need to prioritize your diet. You need to prioritize your well-being. You need to stop eating out so much. They're showing me fast food in particular. It's a real struggle for this collective. No more McDonald's. They're showing me McDonald's. They're showing me KFC. They're showing me Burger King. Okay? And I'm being told this is the deadly three. For this collective, you guys really struggle in particular with these three food chains. McDonald's, Burger King, KFC. I already had forgotten one. KFC. Okay? A lot of you, this is like working on your health in a more holistic way, in a more balanced way. You can't, I'm being told you can't expand spiritually if your health physically is dog shit. That's what I'm being told. Don't expect to expand spiritually if your health is dog shit. Some of you, this card is making me feel like you're facing inconvenient truths. You're needing to face some things that you've been ignoring. You're needing to face some things that you've been avoiding. You're needing to face some things that are not serving you. You need to face some things that are things that you, things that are not serving you. Things that are, there's a phrase I'm trying to think of and I can't think of it. They're showing me like there's certain things that have been your ball and chain. Okay, there's certain things that have been this vibe, this idea, this continuous just hurdle to get over. And that's why this card's showing up. And you need to face them because you've been actively avoiding that this is a problem. You've been actively avoiding. I am hearing for this collective that it is regarding health. And it's specifically regarding declining health. And I'm starting to see that this collective has lifestyle-based lifestyle-based illnesses. That's the word I want. This collective is struggling with lifestyle-based illnesses, and you've been trying to put off and you've been trying to find a like very simple, one size fits all solution. I just do this and all my problems are solved. And you're realizing that's not the case. This collective is having this very uncomfortable realization that they do need to change their habits if they want to excel. And especially for the portion of this collective that is also trying to expand spiritually, you guys have to deal with the uncomfortable truth that a lot of people don't want to talk about, especially within the spiritual space, of you're not going to develop spiritually if you're not developing physically with your health. It's not compatible. At the end of the day, your physical body has to be the conduit for your spirituality, whilst you are obviously a living person and you've got a physical body. So you're not going to actually be able to expand if you are stuck in this, in these poor health-based habits. I'm hearing this collective needs a lot of discipline. I'm hearing to find, for some of you, you would do well to find like a buddy or some sort of support group, okay? That would be really beneficial to this collective in regards to your health and wellness and well-being and even your spiritual development, right? I'm also hearing don't try to diet. Eight of Cups, that's so fitting because the Eight of Cups deals with walking away from things that are no longer serving you. Right? You guys are boarding the ship onto a new life. You're boarding the ship onto a new sense of faith. You guys have had enough. This collective has had enough. This is I'm being told, make it very clear that this is a validation reading. Okay, this is not a reading of what's to come. This collective is already doing these things. This collective is already aware of this issue. This collective is already aware of their health issues, their personal health issues. So this is a validation-based reading. This is not telling you something that's going to happen. This is a validation-based reading. The Eight of Cups is this collective has had enough. They're done. They're over it. They're walking on. They're boarding the ship into a new life, into a new lifestyle. You might be doing it alone. Some of you I'm hearing are doing, actually a lot of you I'm hearing are doing this journey alone. You don't have a lot of support around you. You don't have family that are supporting you. You don't have friends that are supporting you. You're moving forward on this whole thing. I'm told leave it because that was definitely a shuffling error. Good grief. Half the deck fell on the floor. This collective definitely is struggling with the reality that you're doing this journey alone and it's really, really difficult, and the people that you have surrounded yourself with over the years aren't actively there to really help you. They're not always belittling you, and I say always because for some of you they are. For some of you they're like, oh, you know, you're gonna turn into one of those gym gurus. They're kind of mocking you, right? They don't understand that actually is really, really difficult for you, and that for you to wake up at 6 a.m. every single morning and go to the gym is a very difficult thing for you because they don't do that. That's not their reality. Okay, 10 of Pentacles, this is a beautiful card to come up. You're walking towards the perfect, the manifestations of your life, those goals you have. Okay, and again, remember that this has come through as health, so this would be more health-based, okay? Those goals you have, that body you want, the diet you want, that's coming through here, the 10 of Pentacles. You guys are doing it. You're doing it. I'm really getting this like really protective feeling with this collective of needing to express and explain that you are doing it and things are coming to fruition, and understand that seeing the change physically in the mirror or on the scale does take time, but you are in the process. This collective is in the process of taking these steps, and you should be really proud of yourself. And I don't think this collective has heard that. It's making me actually really emotional. You should be really proud of yourself, of where you have come from and where you are going, and how you decide, okay, well, I'm not going to turn out like the rest of my family who just doesn't care about my health, my well-being, or their spirituality, or all of the above. I'm going to put a focus on this. I'm going to put a focus on this because it's important to me. This collective is not getting that support in the physical. You're not getting that support from people around you, the vast majority of you. You're not getting it. And there's this sense of, you know, also I find it really interesting because I actually read this as 10 of Pentacles and it actually says 2 of Pentacles. So that's a message there for someone as well, right? I made the mistake. That's my error. It actually says 2 of Pentacles, right? Balancing. But I actually initially read this for some reason. I saw this as 10 of Pentacles. That's not an error. That's not an error. When the reading starts, there's not errors like that. Okay, so that's a message, right? I'm going to now read the 2 of Pentacles. The 2 of Pentacles is about balancing, right? Understanding, putting balance in your life, you know. Here's the thing. This is the uncomfortable truth that this collective is not going to like. There is this whole idea in the health space and in the fitness space, and I know because I'm also in this space outside of obviously what I do here. There's this whole idea of if you want to change, it's okay, you can have your cheat days and you can balance and you can do this and that's all fine. The reality is, if you want change, everlasting change, and you want it fast, you can't have your cheat days. Sorry. You can't be like, oh, well, I did so good today, I'm going to splurge tonight with ice cream. I'm going to splurge tonight with chips. You can't have the cheat days if you actually want everlasting change. If you want to see that change. Those cheat days can't really come until you start physically making that progress. And that's an uncomfortable truth that a lot of people don't really want to admit. Right? If you're serious about changing things, you can't have, there's a balance. Yes, there's a balance. There's a balance between two levels of extreme. Okay. Don't deprive yourself of food and starve yourself because you are trying to be healthier and get fitter. Okay. And lose weight. Okay. That might be also the message here with this Two of Pentacles, right? That I initially read wrong. But there's a massive message here of you need to understand that the cheat days that you're being told by mainstream people, and I know that I'm not the most mainstream person and I'm very controversial, and that has been made very clear over time via social media and even this channel. The changes that you want to make, you can't do it if you're going to be having all these cheat days. If you're going to be treating yourself after every workout, now you're having this fight, right? You're having this fight that's going on. Your workout's not being as successful in doing what you think it should be doing because there's this push and pull that's going on between you wanting to treat yourself because you went to the gym at 6 a.m. and you did your workout, or you got up and did the run, or you went and, signed up for that extracurricular activity, and now you can treat yourself, but it's not going to give you the results that you want in the long term if you don't actually sit down and really have strict discipline for a short time. And it's not to say you're never going to be able to treat yourself, but I think that having a certain level of discipline of, okay, I'm not going to eat out at all. Right? And for this collective, that's the message I'm really getting, is this collective really, again, struggles. McDonald's, KFC, and Burger King. That was the very first message that I was getting immediately when the Devil card came up. That's what this collective is really struggling with, is this idea of, okay, I deserve KFC today because I've been going to the gym for the past 4 days. The problem is that one KFC is still damaging your body. That's not to say you can never have KFC again, but if you're going to focus on your health, go and focus on your health and set that very clear boundary with yourself. This also is going to manifest for a lot of you in your spirituality. For those of you that this resonates with, who are also on a spiritual journey, this is going to also apply with your spirituality. It's going to apply with your spiritual gifts. Learning to set boundaries is going to be important in that area. I'm sure there's one more card that needs to come out, and then this reading's done. And it's a very quick message. Okay. Leave this card. Four of Swords. Rest. Four of Swords. Rest and rejuvenation. Okay. Learning when it is appropriate to rest. This is the other thing that when it comes to health and fitness, a lot of people get wrong, is they think that they don't take any time off. And they want to go to the gym 7 days a week, every single day. You're going to burn yourself out. Have a rest day. Every week, 1 day. That's your rest day. Okay. That's the day you don't do any workouts. Maybe you'll go for a walk or something, but that's the day you're not doing workouts. Keep your diet. Keep the clean eating, but the rest day is so that you don't burn yourself out, so that you can keep working toward what you want to do, so that you can keep the changes that you want to keep, and so that you can manifest the health and the life that you want to manifest in the end. That's it. That's all. This is a really important message, and I really hope that those of you that needed this most, you're getting this message. And I wish you all the best. Till next time. Bye.